Introducing Voices of Festival, a brand new podcast series from the International African Arts Festival, created to keep you connected as we count down to our 55th year of culture, creativity, and community. Each week, hear directly from the artists, dancers, musicians, vendors, and community members who make this festival an unforgettable experience. Tune in every Thursday at 8 p.m. on YouTube for Voices of Festival. Celebrate the culture, feel the rhythm, be part of the journey.
Boom. All right. I don't know what's going on here. Are you there?
I'm here. You froze up a little bit.
Yeah, cause I'll edit all this stuff out. Um, we talk, blah 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 blah. This is the end. Now they're gone. Now it's just me and you again. You ready?
What are we doing?
So they're gone, but the conversation is finished. Now it's just me and you closing the show out.
Okay.
You know, that conversation, the conversation that we just had with JahMedicine, the medicine cabinet, it gives me hope. As a Brooklynite, I grew up on hip hop. As a festival offspring, festival son, to hear my festival brothers and sisters represent those who came before us, those who said it, because they talked about those who came before us and making them proud of and what they taught us. They talked about invoking ancestors. They talked about following the blueprint of some of the ancestors like Shaka Zulu that came before us. You literally got a spiritual and a history lesson in that conversation. Sakina, would you agree or not?
Of course, I agree. And, it just really speaks to um, what we really are doing moving forward with the knowledge that we have, the experiences that we have. They really just embody the full essence of what a spiritual warrior does. How do you ground yourself? How do you align? And then when you do align, how do you really fulfill your purpose? And these brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters, our festival comrades,
Right.
what you would say. Are you saying, yes, my God brother, that's my God sister? No, these are our comrades. Um, they are confident, they are strong, and they're clear. They're in alignment about what their power is, and they have a directive moving forward. And it doesn't matter what the status quo is
Mm.
around, because they are literally shifting a narrative
Yes.
and creating a new directive moving forward. And I just love this because my key term is the evolution of the revolution, and they are like the epitome of the
Yeah.
evolution
Yeah.
for this revolution moving forward. And not so much to like the old days, where we're actually going to war. We don't we don't have to anymore. We don't have to struggle. We have the power to create. And that's what the medicine cabinet just did.
Yeah, they gave us some serious medicine tonight. They fed our spirit, they fed our soul. I mean, and that was just a conversation. So imagine when you see them live performing,
Ugh,
you hear their music, and they talk about their new album they're working on. And I want you guys that we're going to stay connected to them, and we're going to travel this journey. We're going to show you as much as we can unfold as they're in the process of making this album, as they're on this journey to really to accomplishing their goals and to fulfilling their purpose. We're gonna let it's gonna
ac-
unfold right here.
Actually, the prelude is out, so we can drop the link in. I think it's JahMedicine at dot Bandcamp, or the medicine cabinet dot Bandcamp. But we will put it in the description where you can hear the prelude of his music, of the Medicine Cabinet's music right now.
Shout out to the whole crew. Shout out to Randy. Shout out to Randy. Shout out to Mr. Higgins. Shout out to Abdullah. Shout out to old Boogie. Shout out to JahMed. And shout out to Dikra. Did I say it correctly? Dikra.
And shout out to Shaka, says she didn't make it on this interview, but you know,
And just
Shaka says it's a major impact.
they were on their way to a performance. JahMed was already there, and they took the time to really chime in.
Yeah, they're performing with Talib tonight at the Blue Note.
You know what? We can't say no more. You know what? We're gonna close the show out. You guys make sure you share this. You make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. We're gonna get these numbers up. We're on our way to 10,000. So let's make it happen quickly and easily. But we believe in you, just like you believe in us. So thank you for joining us.
Peace.
Peace. All right.
That's true.
Sakina was
I love
like,
that.
you know, let's not refer to them as hip hop artists, as conscious hip hop artists. I was like, word? She was like, yeah, it kind of goes past that. So maybe you guys can give me some insight to that, because hip hop is a positive, conscious thing, and if you're putting out positive messages, it's a reflection of the level of your consciousness that's putting out these messages. So I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but help me. I want to see it the way that you guys see it as artists.
Yo.
I love that. I love that.
Yo, well, yo, let me jump in real quick. Yo, so all right, so conscious hip hop, drill rap, gangster music, all of these are titles that's created for marketing purposes. Like the people who never came up like, yo, you know what? This is gangster. Let's name it gangster rap. Nobody, like, we didn't actually say that. Like, that was a label that was given to cats. So I do understand when people be like, yo, listen, like don't lump me in the category of conscious rappers, because everybody that's conscious don't bang with Kweli just because he's talking black shit, right? So like just understanding that that's just a tactic for marketing, and it's nothing to like hold on to or like fashion yourself after. But when you do say conscious music, right, I fashion it to say like, yo, look, conscious music just means that you're not unconscious, meaning you're not dead. You're not promoting death, you're not promoting negativity, you actually promoting life in your music. And so so you could be so saying that to say John Coltrane was a conscious artist because he made frequencies that uplifted people, that spread positivity, that grew things, that didn't kill things and make it die. So yeah, I mean, if that makes me a conscious rapper, I'm all about that. If being a conscious rapper puts me in a category for sale, then that's for the birds.
Shit. I want to hear from the Sister Randy.
I'd love to jump in. I think the issue with categories is that it kind of boxes you in. And I think the dope thing about the Medicine Cabinet and this collective is just, it's an evolving experience where, it's going to be something out of the box. And I think when you put that conscious rapper title, I think it kind of boxes you into what has already happened thus far, when this is a new thing. This is a new experience. And so I think that's the dope part about, not wanting to be categorized, because you bring in a different kind of element, and maybe it will have aspects of conscious rap in there, but it's also going to have some things that are unexpected. And I think that's the dope part.
All right.
I love this because this really speaks to my theory of the evolution of the revolution. I keep saying it, but we are what you're describing as a creative initiative of an artistic collective is evolvement. So this is more than conscious hip hop. Hip hop is the foundation, but you're coming in with a new word. You're coming in with a new expression. I saw JahMed on finally, and Deidre is on.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dick.
Just want to-
No, it's the dick cry, and oh, maybe you can chime in. The question that I posed on the table, right, was that me and Sakina were talking about tonight's show. What she said to me was like, let's not refer to them as conscious hip hop artists. And I said, well, why not? They're putting out positive messages that they're conscious artists. So she was like, no, because it's deeper than that. It supersedes that. So she's like, we can talk about that with them tonight. So that was a question. I was saying, why not be considered or be labeled as a conscious artist when you're putting out conscious positive music, which is a reflection of the level of your consciousness. And Sister Randy, she chimed in, O chimed in, and we kind of want to get your intake on it as well about the categories and the labels.
So I also feel similar. I think that there are labels that are put on music that is just here to heal and to be connective. Like the nature of music is to connect, to connect the spirit, to connect the energy, whatever that means. And so I think when we're in a space of calling it conscious rap or conscious music, it kind of boxes in like a genre. You know what I mean? Like the same way that one is an R&B singer or an opera singer or whatever, but it is a specific genre and it has a very niche audience. And I think that a lot of the message that we have that a lot of the message that we want people to receive could be blocked, I would say, or something by the label around it. The thing that, oh, I'm not like that, or I'm not namaste. I'm not I don't be doing yoga and shit. You feel me? Like, so like, but those are the people that need the information that we have to give, that need the peace and the love and the goodness and the brotherly and the sisterliness that we have in our music. Those are the people that need it. And if we're allow ourselves to be boxed into those confinements, we lose a lot of the audience that needs what we have to say.
Copy that. Brother Abdul, you've been with us for a minute now since we've been dealing with the technical challenges and everything, and you're still here. So we got to hear your voice, brother. Come on, chime in.
So, for me, I grew up in the gangster hip hop. So, when you are a child, you do childish things. So you heard a lot of, the adolescent version of who I am in my music. I was killing off everyone in my music initially. Bitches were being called, hoes were being called. Like my hooks was insane. It's something that I'm not proud of today. But through, growth and development, I shifted the narrative on how I show up on my records. But that is just with, ebbs and flows. What I want to be remembered as, when you go back, 'cause they say when you put out music, you can put a CD in a mailbox and it could end up in Minnesota somewhere. And the first that soundtrack could actually be the soundtrack to someone's life. So what exactly am I saying on that soundtrack? Like who am I affecting on that soundtrack? The first person that actually hears that, like I can actually change his or her life. So my music has changed over the years. So this conscious thing that everyone is talking about, I don't know if that's the space that I fall in. But I know my mindset has changed, since I first started writing. Again, I came up with, Mobb Deep, um, Wu-Tang, Nas, Coogee Rap. So my music was gory, initially. You don't hear that in my music now, because I feel different. I show up different. I see the world differently.
Shit.
So yeah, I'm not, I don't know about the labels. Um, I don't run away. I still celebrate those artists that's still trying to find their way. Um, you know, but I'm just in a different space in this moment.
And brother, I mean brother Higgins, Mr. Higgins, we gotta hear from you, brother.
I walked into a noisy environment, but I'm gonna keep it short. It's so funny, man. My understanding of the term is evolving even as of today. Like I just had a conversation, even when I had a conversation with Sakina the other day, and even when I had a conversation today, um, you can call it whatever you want to call it, as long as it hits your spirit, as long as it hits your soul, you can frame it however you want to frame it. And I agree completely with Omari in the sense of, it is a marketing tool, right? Because your products have to be quote unquote categorized, and that's what it's really about, and that's cool. And I'm gonna be real with you, even it's the last conversation that I've had that make me say this. I don't mind it being called conscious music at all. You call it what you want to call it. You can call it Jesus with gospel. You can call it whatever. Yes, I'm good with all of that. If you're calling it something, that means it hit you somehow, and I'm good with that.
Mm. Talking about it hits you somehow, right? We just experienced 55 years of the International African Arts Festival. And as a board member and producer and slash host of this podcast, I was looking forward to it. I have to tell you, because knowing the history of the medicine cabinet in JahMed, and I was introduced to by a really good brother, a friend of mine, Zamani Moyo. Shout out to Zamani. Um, and,
Really?
and I'm talking about, I raised my children listening to JahMed's audio. It's key that you see the slavery could never. My children know these songs by heart because I didn't have them listen to drill and the stuff that was on the radio. So when I saw you guys perform at festival 2 years ago, I was like, wow. It just captivated me because of the messaging and the aesthetics. I'm looking at priests. I'm looking at, and as a priest of the tradition myself, I'm looking at priests on stage as artists putting out, I mean, in their traditional garb, Leckies on, heads wrapped. Oh, you look like a Yawo on the stage. Right? Then this year, on the third day, when I was watching JahMedicine on the stage, the sisters were sitting on the stage. I mean, with their heads wrapped, they had on the same fabric with different designs of their clothes. I'm saying what you guys bring to music. And I'm telling you, because I love hip hop and I love music. And that the way that it touched me, because the brother said, well, if it touches you, it touches you. It touched me. Help me. Give us some insight of how you guys came together to put together the performance you did for Festival 55.
I think that's a job question.
That's certainly a job question. It would be interesting to hear some perspectives. I think Abdul has a historical perspective. I think I have a historical perspective that's on the line right now, but would have that perspective. Abdul, you wanna take your shot at that?
Sure, I think that's when JahMed is not around, his little brother steps in.
He's around. He right there.
Yeah, what's up? He on the line. What's good? Why?
Where you at, Jah?
No. The only reason why I said is because African festival is new for me. So that's why I thought that either JahMed or O can speak to that.
Nah, absolutely, absolutely. So
Yeah,
boom.
you're right. You're right. Pardon me.
Boom, boom. So after our performance last year, so Med, I've been a board member for the International African Arts Festival for like a decade now, and Med been running the Muntu stage at festival for like 7, 8 years. And so we perform there every year on the Muntu stage, but last year was our first opportunity to perform on the big stage. And so after we got busy last year, it was a transformational experience. So this year, based off of last year, we decided like to formalize a group. We was like, yo, we gotta encapsulate this moment. So we formed a group. We formed the group based off of that. And then so this year, being in a new park, being in a new space, um, having an opportunity to be in front of a new audience. We was like, yo, we really, really want to um top what we did last year, but also be able to um create an experience, a theatrical experience, like not just the music. So we gotta hit people with the music, but we gotta also hit people visually. You know what I'm saying? And so so it was really an opportunity to uh first of all impress the elders of festival, right? To let them know that we have seen them. We've seen everything that they've done. We've seen everything that they put down for us. Um and so we wanted to let them know that we internalize all the messages that they've given us over the years, and we've revamped it, right? We've evolved it to modern day, right? And to um, I had an app. My first album was called Dashikis and Air Maxes, right? Because
That's
like
dope.
yo, we gotta be able to wear our traditional garments, but then also make it cool for 2026, right? So that the shorties uh can see us and be like, yo, that's cool. I like that. The people our age should be like, yo, I like what y'all doing. The elders can look at us and be like, yo, I'm proud of y'all and I see what y'all trying to do and create. So yeah, so the performance this year was very intentional,
What
right?
was the
And we
question?
wanted to like do our best to like
JahMed, put your
touch.
phone on mute.
Oh, that's man.
Yeah, that's Med. Put your
Oh,
phone on mute.
nice, my man. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like really, really tapping into the opportunity to bring our people a new vision of what we have already created. Like festival is the creation, right? And so we wanted to give them a vision of where we're trying to take it to move into the future.
Ashe, Ashe.
Sure. I think Jai wanted to chime in. Are you able?
That was powerful. Uh, let's see. Can I add on until Jar gets in on it?
I
Yes,
think
please.
I think he may be able. Yeah? No? Okay. All right.
Oh, and you can chime in, Josh. Just chime in. All right, go ahead, Brother Hagan.
Yes, yes. I do want to chime in. I do want to chime in.
Okay.
Is there still space to chime in? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hell no. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm at the Blue Note. I got a situation going on right here, but I didn't want it to be too loud. Yes. So what was the question? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the whole thing.
The question was, how did you guys come up with what you guys presented the 55th International African Arts Festival? How did you come up with it? How did you come up with what you presented to the people? We want to know the thought process behind it.
I would say the way we came up with it was basically it's the best of who and like it's the best of who we are as like festival babies, African people, artists, our art, and just as people, just being who we are to each other. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone is an amazing artist. Everyone is a like we had to bring together the aesthetic, right? So Brother Abdul is you know, that's his one of his superpowers. It's like he's a supreme writer, performer, but like his superpower and his like and his tailor, I don't know if that's a word, but in his craft of designing clothes, he's a amazing designer, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like then from there, it's like we have like we have the experiences of me, Sharaka, Omari, Higgins, just most of us growing up in festivals. So we know what festival, we've experienced some of our highest moments in life. Just being babies at festival, just listening to our parents talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like the jazz greats and just all of the great performers, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, it's just like all of us being artists of, the craft of, hip hop, R&B, Afrobeat, all of that. It's like it's being able to put together just the best of what we know and who we are to and be able to fill this void in festival. Like, cause so for me, I've been curating a festival for like maybe like at least 10 years and bringing performance and bringing artists and stuff like that. And then watching the shows and being like, man, like, I was on, it was like, it used to be 3 stages at festival. So it was a time where it was like, I was on a stage. I was bringing a lot of quality performances and stuff like that. But there was the bigger stages where, there was stuff going on. So now this consolidation allowed for like me to for the opportunity to be like, yo, like, JahMed, who do you think and what do you think should happen? So it's like, it's all of these different things that come together that create like the perfect storm. And then just for us as artists to be like, yo, we need to create something, that starts, like we feel like the community needs and the world needs at this moment in time as artists. So festival is our like, like coming out party, like how we launch to the world and stuff like that. So it's like, all of these different elements coming together to like inspire us to produce something that we've never seen before, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. It sounds like you are bringing the genres of the past generations and the younger generation together in the music that you put out. From the younger generation being on the Montu stage, but you're going to the big stage, and so you knew that you had to capture the audience, the older audience of the baby boomers. So you put together music from each genre and merged it in one to push out that energy. Did I translate?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, and it's just like it's the genres, but it's like if you saw the show, it's like, it's like, but then it's dance, right? It's dance, it's choreography. Like we're just learning that we were trying to be. I don't know if this was said already, but we just learning like, wow, we were really trying to reach a earth, wind, and fire type level for this show without even knowing it. But just being like, yo, we gotta give like having the opportunity to be at festival and be like one of the main artists, it's like, yo, like we gotta set a new precedent, a new standard. We gotta like create something that's never been seen. So it's like it's a push to us to be like, Dad, how do we impact this so that, not just, it's just a new standard. So yeah, it's the blending of the genres, the ages, and the unknown also. Because it's time, like we're living in a time where it's time for the new standard to be born. Like,
come on,
right? Yeah. So that everyone can be like, yeah, that's it. Because I feel like that's what our parents did in their age. Like they didn't just come with a new style of music. They, hit the spot as far as like, these are the things that need to happen. So, just on one level, we're trying to hit the spot on
with the art and the music and the spirit. But then on other levels, it's like, our parents like created the enterprise, the ultimate enterprise of the East and stuff like that, because that's what that time called for. So we trying to emulate that as well.
I wanted to have Sister Randy and Sister Drika.
Dikra.
And really quickly, what I want to ask the sisters is that, when you look at, and especially specifically in the genre of hip hop today, when you talk about female artists, we know that, you see people like Cardi B on the platform. You see Nicki Minaj, you see the Lottos and the Cash Dolls and the all these sisters who they wear their sexuality in a really not unattractive way through their music. And they push that through their music. And what I find out is a lot of the younger sisters who are out here now, they lean to these artists. They quote these artists. They idolize these artists. To see Black women on the stage, the way that you two sisters showed up in your traditional clothing, with the type of lyrics that you promote, help me and help the viewers understand how you chose that direction, because clearly the other direction is more profitable. There's more monetary advantages on the secular side. But why choose this way when it would appear that there aren't the same amount of benefits, the same amount of popularity? You don't see sisters with positive lyrics driving around with Lamborghinis and with the fake teeth and the fake body parts and things of that nature. Why this route? Maybe let's start with you, Randy.
So, as one of the later additions to the medicine cabinet and being brought on as a feature, I was presented with what the material was, and I've known JahMedicine for a long time, and we worked together musically before. But when he presented what everyone as a collective created, I was blown away and honored and privileged to be considered one. But also the content resonated very loudly as somebody who, as a individual artist, the messaging is always important to me, because what you leave in this world and the things that you're saying, I feel like that's everything, and who you stand for and what you stand for. And I feel like the music that I create is to inspire and to connect you back to yourself so that you can understand your power. I feel very much so that the medicine cabinet is on a similar alignment. And so it just resonates loudly for me. And integrity is everything. And so I want to be connected to something that's looking to grow our community and to uplift our people. And I'm honored to be connected, because that's what we're doing.
Sister Dikra.
Dikra.
You making it work. You making it work, Dikra, yeah. Thank you for trying. I appreciate you. So first of all, I've just always been a really against the grain person to begin with. I am myself more than anything. I'm always going to be my authentic self. And my authentic self sees the value in, I see like what happens with the Cardi B's and the whatever, and how sex sells and how women have been objectified. But I also grew up in the Nation of Islam. And so for me, it was always about being able to share my gifts before I talk about sharing my body or sharing my spirit, before I'm sharing, my assets, you know what I'm saying? Like sharing my mind, you know what I'm saying? Before I, shake that ass. Although I don't have a lot of judgment around it. We live in a very interesting and nuanced life, but I think that it's been pushed so much, the objectification of women, especially Black women, that we believe that that's what the only thing that's valuable about ourselves. And I just have to I have to protest. Like I have to, because I know the beauty of the Black woman. I know the beauty of the sisters in the world. I know what we have to offer. I am a real, real girl's girl. I am, I really, really love us. I really love the power that we hold, the power that we exude even without trying. The entire world operates from our creativity as a Black woman first. And so I think that there is just beauty in all of it. I'd like to be able to give an opportunity for people to see how incredible we are, not just because we're incredibly beautiful, not just because we have the curves and the verbs and the va and the voom, but that we also have the mind and the heart and the spirit and the healing and the energy that everyone needs too. And so it's easy for me. I spent a lot of, most of my life I've lived with my head covered, and I don't do that, as you can see, but I don't do that all the time. But sometimes I do. When I feel it, I do. When I don't, I think it's valuable regardless. I think women are valuable regardless to how provocative they decide to dress or whatever. I think that there is nothing that diminishes a woman's value no matter what. But I would like to challenge the status quo that says that is the main value, and that's not the truth. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Mhm. Beautiful, sisters. That just that just sounds like just the key word that both of you described was inspiration. I'll say you both are women of inspiration. You know, it's great.
I was going to probably have this conversation offline, right? But what I saw from last year and this year with your performances at festival, it captivated me to the point where I had to show it to others. And when I showed this to others, they were like, I want to get in contact with those people and have them on this stage with me. We'll talk about that afterwards, right? We'll talk about that afterwards. But it goes to what Jah was saying about this is the right message at the right time. Jah, I want you to dive into that. I want you to dive into that because what that means and what this message is so that people can hear it. And I want you to understand that I truly believe, as you know, I'm the chairman, or I'm working on with the communications committee with the festival, and I truly believe that this lane that we have discovered with JahMed at the tip of the spear is like it's like the Red Sea opening, like Moses parted the Red Sea, and the opportunities and everything is just going to come flowing with it. That's how I see what you guys are doing. And again, that's just me. I'm a visionary. Please don't crucify me.
I said let Higgins answer that.
Okay.
What you think, Higgs?
Um, that's a powerful alley oop right there. I appreciate that, Sakina. So say your direct question, brother.
The direct question is, Brother Josh said this is the right message, the right timing, that things are shifting, right, in the world, and the timing is right. You guys remind me of I know you remember X Clan, right? Remember how X Clan was? That's the kind
I
of
got you. I got you, Lord. So on the timing of it, I'll start it by saying like this. Um, you know, just as a collective of adults, right? We share music and we're excited about new music that comes out. And then it seems like over the past, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 years, you look at the artists that we've always loved, the stuff that they come out with, it doesn't hit. And we're saying, well, there's a thing that says, if it's not there, then maybe it's for you to do, right? And so there's a translation as adults of this age and stage in our lives. What's innovative to us? What's powerful to us? It's just like the brother was saying earlier. At one stage in his artistry, he communicated at one level, but now he communicates at a different level. So we all want to hear things that inspire us today. We all want to hear things that we can vibe to with our children of varying ages, right? And so, it seems to be missing out there. I've unwrapped, I've purchased or downloaded a few artists that I just knew. I was like, I can't wait for this person. I want to hear what they got to say, what they got to give us, right? We prescribe to these artists. We look for what they got to share for us and how they lead us going forward. And there's a lot of disappointment, right? So where are we going? It seems to be a time where there's adults who want to hear something new, right, from this genre, from this tree, if you will. But just there's a lot of things that lack inspiration. So yeah, adult contemporary hip hop artists, like adult contemporary motivation, adult contemporary insight. Where does that come from? And so I think it is time for that. And I, just like you, my brother, was amazed looking at the responses of the people, who I believe a big part of their response was, wow, that motivated me. Nobody died. It wasn't corny. It wasn't, nobody felt like segmented into a religion. It was, but everybody's spirit was impacted. Everybody.
Yeah,
And so
everyone.
it's time for that. It's time for spiritually impactful music that has an ill beat, elevates our women in a way that makes people say, maybe that's God,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
And so that's what, with all of that, you put all that together, I believe that's part of the vision of that we want to the audience to learn. I think that's part of it.
Wow.
I have a question because y'all, all of the songs that were performed on the stage this year were very impactful. Um, and the one that I would say had the highest level of energy, where everybody was like, ah, was War. That song,
The war
that
call.
was so to speak
They're
to
hearing the
that.
call. They're
Yeah,
hearing
they're
the
hearing the
call.
call, they're hearing the call. Huh, they're hearing the call, they're hearing the call. I mean, the energy was just like amazing. And it spoke to our spirit. I mean, I was trying to hold the camera and was just like, yeah. But it gave revolutionary vibes, right? And just, can you guys speak to, like, okay, what revolutionary principle from our elders continues to guide your vision and your work today? Like, where did that come from? What
That
did
was
you mean by that?
Abdul and JahMed all day. Abdul and JahMed evoked something. I think, yeah. Where you at, Abdul?
Talk
This
to us,
guy.
man.
So, all right, all right, so let me say this. Um, as we were preparing for the show, um, so the show was my redemption show, like my redemption song. So, I did the show last year, and I didn't show up the best version of myself.
I remember.
And right, um, so I didn't really get a chance to be celebratory. When I got up the stage, I grabbed my chair, my lady, and I left. So I didn't. I wasn't a part of the celebration because I didn't prepare, and it wasn't about me not having enough time. So I'm not gonna use that as an excuse. I just didn't prep in the ways that I prepped for this particular show. This show, I truly prepped because there was anxiety attached to me being on stage. Um,
Mm.
Mm.
so in order for
Oh
me to have
boy.
shown up in a way that I have shown up, I mean, JahMedicine, oh boy, but this is how the war song was created. It was created based off of actually putting in the work, dieting, running, going over my lyrics, um, going into places that I didn't know anyone, showing up on stages, signing up for open mics, and doing all of these things that I had never done before. And when I heard the record that JahMed was creating, I had to tap into Shaka Zulu. Um, and Shaka Zulu had a war formation called um, uh, the head of the buffalo, which used the buffalo anatomy when it came to war. So I had did some research on that, which led to this particular war songs. But it was just preparation, and all of the preparation that Shaka Zulu did for his soldiers. And I put that into the song, and I actually put that into preparing for this show. You know, it was war for me because I needed to show up differently this year. I needed to execute, and I had people depending on me. So that's how I embody that record, along with JahMed's lyrics, which was very, very impactful, leading into the hook of the record.
Okay, so you're describing you literally went into warrior mode
I went into
for
warrior mode.
yourself,
He,
right?
he invoked the spirit, rest in power of Shaka Zulu. And
Yeah.
Sure.
Fact. That's a
wow.
fact. Can I add on JahMed? Jai, if you did, please pop up. But this one thing I do want to add on is it came from a conversation, and JahMed does creative sessions in what we call the medicine lab, right? So we come to the medicine lab and we do these creative writing sessions, and we build and we converse and we socialize, and what you heard, what you saw and experienced on stage was literally the artistic expression of a group of people gathering, being dope people and just enjoying vibes, but also bringing an intention of creativity. And so
Mhm.
from like from August till maybe February, March, what you saw on stage, a lot of it got put together between August of 25 and February. And there was a conversation about warrior spirit. And it came from a conversation. And JahMed, Sharaka, Abdul were in the conversation, and then it went from there. And it went from there.
Mm.
I have a question for Omari and for Big.
We want Jah to speak
Yeah,
to
with
it.
Yeah,
Jah.
can I add on to
Please,
that?
please. My bad. Apologies, please, bro. Please.
Boom. So the thing is like this, right? And this is very important for the context of this conversation. So the question, we talk about we talk about a lot of people talk about rap. So we're making this album, and the album is really, really dope because we're going in different directions of, like, there's a song about walking and just the benefits of walking. And I had a situation where I was in a hospital room and I saw my brother take his, one of my friends about to take the last breath, and then I had to go for a walk. There's songs about, socializing and festival. There's songs about let the kids play in, right? So it's like I was like, this is interesting, but there's no high level. Like, yeah, there's nothing about war. Like, we live in a time where this country we live in is dropping bombs and murdering people and doing all these things, but our music is not addressing it. And we're acting like it's not happening. So it's like, even in healing arts, the healing arts can turn into just escapism and just regular feel good, like, yeah, we breathing and all the other stuff. So it's like, yo, what is war? Like, what is warfare? How are we engaging in warfare? Just how are we engaging? So the thing was, I started a conversation where I started to ask people, like ask the group members, ask my mother, ask friends, families. We just started this conversation like, yo, what is warrior mode, right? Like, what does it mean to be in warrior mode, and stuff like that. And so it just started like, yeah, that's just started cascading off of itself. But like in creating, it's like we have to create. I got to create a solution for myself first that I can walk into and share with everybody else. It's not. I can't fix the problems of the world. I'm not trying to fix the problems of the world from just me. I got the answers. It's like, yo, right? So I say, when you hear us talking like calling on that Ali Fela, Tupac Desaline T'Challa, Speed Out Ifa and Allah, for that Ashe Inshallah. It's like we calling on the spirits to be able to give us solutions, to be able to deal with what we're dealing with. The same war that we've been dealing with for hundreds of years. But how do we, and with our power and in this moment, deal with, how do we move the needle forward? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the least we could do, is try to figure out something so that we can, right? So through this music, through the vehicle of, like that's what we're trying to do. So the whole thing of war is like actually talking about war, but not acting like it doesn't happen, like not acting like we're not engaged in one. So then you talk to the elders, right? And on a revolutionary tip, it's like, yo, we're ready for war. Like looking at 60s and the 70s and stuff like that, and our elders being like, "Now we ready for war," and da 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 da. It's like right now, there's not even a conversation around war, or like we act like war is something outside of our lives, which is like fascinating. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? So it's like, yeah, but it was just like, how do we tap into our inner warrior in this moment to be able to be like, yo, what is our power? And in conclusion, the goal was to give our people a feeling of invincibility that comes from spirit, right? That's what, for me, what the purpose and the goal of the song was, so that you can feel, no, there's something inside of us that's invincible, that if we tap into it, we can overcome whatever it is, the difficulties and the challenges and all that stuff is. So yeah.
You know, for the viewers, I really want you to. I'm just gonna give you a quick outline of what they're saying, what this brother just shared with us, right? This brother, in essence, shared with us that when they're creating their music that they're presenting to the world, yes, they're thinking, they're writing lyrics, and it's coming from the mind and a collaboration of all of them coming together. But they're tapping into the ancestral spirit. The brother said Ashe. The brother is using terms that we use in prayer, that we use in ancient rituals and ceremonies to invoke these spirits to be able to present music that's going to touch people in the same way. That's what this conversation is. The other brother talked about Shaka Zulu. If you don't know who Shaka Zulu is, you want to do your history and understand the significance of that brother, the significance of him with modern day warfare, what he did in modern day warfare. And all of this speaks to us knowing our history, which leads me to the question that I have for Amari and for Dikra. And the question is basically, I'm a young aspiring artist. I'm listening to the radio. I'm watching social media. I'm seeing NBA YoungBoy. I'm seeing Blueface. I'm seeing these guys that are blowing up, and I'm seeing how they're blowing up. The guy that passed away not a couple years ago, King Vaughn, Little Dirk. These guys are put on such a platform. Like, I want to be like them. I want to rap like them. But then I see Omari at the International African Arts Festival. And I see a clip of him online. Omari, I want you to share with me as a young artist why the route that you took with your music is a better route than the secular route or the more popular route. For me, as a young Black man that's looking to be an artist, and I'm looking at you, you inspired me.
Word. So, so I would say one of my students. I teach Black history, and I teach a rites of passage program to young high school students, right? Black high school students, Black males, right? So as we getting on the stage, one of my students from this past year teaching, he pulled me to the side. He's like, "Mr. Omari, what up?" I was like, "Yo, it's crazy." And so this dude got super duper knowledge itself, right? So every time that I'm hitting him with different lessons in a class, he know what I'm talking about. He can go back and forth with me, but in the environment that he's in the friend group that he's in, it's not cool to show off his intellect, to show off his knowledge itself, to show off his true self, right? So I would just say it's very important to understand that nobody is above the power of influence. Kids, adults, elders, babies, right? Everybody wants to be in the know. Everybody wants to be cool to some, some segment of life. And everybody wants to be in the in crowd. So, for myself, just like brother Abdul was saying, right? Like when he was younger, he resembled the music that was out there, right? When we talk about like female artists, right? When we talk about the Cardi B's and the Lottos and all of that, I don't hear us talking about the Rhapsodies, right? I don't hear us talking about the power that Queen Latifah brought to hip hop music, to world culture, right? Like, and the power of her influence, right? So I just know that, like, I know that the music that I'm making right now isn't what is the most popular, what is the most profitable, but but when we really tap into it, the majority of the artists that they used to, you know, display to the public, they grabbed cats when they was 16, 17, 18, under 20, right? Without full knowledge of themselves, without full knowledge of life, right? And dangle some money in front of them and tap into the power of influence that they already had, right? To use that against them, right? And so with me making my music, understanding that understand what the real power of music is, right? Like there's no spiritual set in the world that doesn't use music to tap into the next levels of spirit, right? So if we're talking about the Lukumi tradition, you can't have a ceremony. You cannot maximize a ceremony unless you have music, right? And this music is the outlet for you to tap into the next realm. So you cannot have a full, complete ceremony without music because of its power. And so for myself, just tapping into the power of music is enough for me. But understanding that, like on a monetary level, right? Like, especially in the age where you do not have the restrictions of a record label or certain people to control where your music is being distributed and all of that, where you have the power to get your music in front of somebody in Japan right now, like that never existed before, right? On a personal level. So knowing that I have the power to make the music that I need to make, that my people need to hear, that will affect the world, and I have the outlet to actually reach the world at the same time, it's like, nah, B, I can't say bitch in my songs now. I just can't. It's not good. It's not good for my soul. You know what I'm saying? Word up. I want to say it so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like my man Abdul said.
That,
He said it all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I can't do it. I just can't do it.
and
You know what I'm saying?
that is the beauty of this collective. Is like y'all know you know your value, you know your power as individuals.
Mm,
Off the top, you're saying the same thing that Randy said. You're saying the same thing that Ether
mm,
said. You know your value, you know your history. And so when you express yourself, you have to speak on you're standing on your knowledge. Period.
mm,
Like,
mm.
and I want to give JahMed, I just say thank you for being on. I know you gotta go because you're at the Blue Note, get ready to perform, real cool. And I thank you for coming. You can speak and say your exit, but I just go ahead, unmute.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Sorry, my phone is about to die out, but yes. So listen, what was your question? You said you just wanted me to make a final word.
I just wanted you to say your final word because I know you gotta go.
Oh, so yeah. So look. So final word is this. Thank you guys for having us on. Thank Festival for having us and giving us the opportunity and the platform and the motivation and inspiration to produce what we produce, right? And we have a lot more in store. We're working on finishing up the album. You know what I'm saying? We're working on we got a lot of shows coming up, and it's kind of like we're about to do the amazing. We're about to do the amazing and really, really create what is needed in this moment in time. You know what I'm saying? Medicine cabinet, baby. Love y'all.
Love you back.
Peace.
Yo, hold on,
Yes,
John. Hold on, John. Before you go, I really want to take a moment to really super shout you out. We wanted to do it on the stage at festival, but people was rushing it off, and we couldn't get to where we want to get to. But yo, I just want everybody just give this man a round of applause for all of the efforts and the vision. Really, we didn't get to give you your flowers on stage, bro. Nah, for real, man. And so just for a moment, man, you always, you know what I'm saying? So please
You,
receive
you
that
the
flowers,
birthday,
man.
JahMed.
Thank
Man.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
We
you.
got we got
Thank you
4
so
minutes
much. I love
left.
y'all. Appreciate it.
Please.
yes.
Appreciate it.
We got 4 minutes left. Before we go, Dick, I have to get your input. What would you say to the younger artist that's looking to become an artist? How would you? She's looking at you. You impressed her. Now she's looking at you for guidance and direction. What would you say to them?
Mute.
Were you asking me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's what I just, it was all kind of messy in the sound, but um, yep.
Well,
Real quick.
what would
Uh,
you say to inspire a
yes, the young
a
women.
young
I was listening. I just didn't know who was
Mhm,
posed to.
mhm,
But yeah, to quickly answer that question, I think it's just about being able to. There's always an ebb and flow in music, right? Every generation, basically, or every 10 years or so, there's the real feeling music, and then we go back to the secular, wild music, the music that doesn't hold anything. I think that for those true artists, for those people that are tapping into something bigger than themselves, that are channeling spirit through just automatically, because I don't know if you know these babies out here, but they do this already. They are already just incredible. These teenagers, these young people, these youth that are already tapped in. I think it's just important to keep being that role model and that inspiration by being authentic, by creating music that where you remember that there's something to feel, that there's something to share, and there's something to say through music. Because yes, there's 1,000 YGs and all the stuff that you were saying earlier. That and Drake dropping albums with 28 songs on it, and that we will never remember in a year or two. But there's also artists that are out there that are creating something that is meaningful and worthy. And I think the best thing that we can do for that is just be that example, so that and we live in this world that has so much more access because they're looking for it. They're always looking for it. Something that makes them feel something that feels connected. So
Hmm.
yeah, the young women and the young men, just being that example of authenticity.
mm.
So,
But I also
so,
have to go
so,
because I'm also at the Blue Note. So bye, you guys.
yeah, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
Have a good show. Have a good show. Have a
Have
good
a
show.
good
I'm
show.
on my
Thank
way. I'm
you.
on my way.
Sakina, give us your final thoughts. We got
Yeah,
2 minutes.
let me just give you my final word. I think that this is great. The medicine cabinet. Thank you all for coming on and really unlocking what the medicine cabinet is. And what I come up with from what everyone has said is like the medicine cabinet has medicine for the soul. Like it, what you all have described is how your music is tapping into the spirit of the
Mm.
community, the spirit of your audience. You want to inspire people and get them grounded spiritually to know that they are and inspire them to know that they are powerful within themselves. I think
Mhm.
that's phenomenal. Um, and there are a number of ways that this collective is achieving this goal. And yes, the main vehicle is through music, but I look forward to everything that will come out of this collaboration, this creative collective of healing artists. So thank you.
You know, you guys, grateful for you being here. I mean, this conversation superseded my expectations. Despite the technical challenges, the fact that we had to move to Zoom, we kept this thing moving, we kept it rolling. We got the jewels that we needed to get for the people that was listening, that are viewing, that are watching this. They're going to be inspired and touched the way that they need to be. So we all did our work. And what makes it even just that much sweeter for me is that we're festival babies. So we are
Mm.
this way because we came up at festival, just like how Amari and JahMed said with you. Me and Sakina are festival babies also, growing up in festivals as
Sons,
girls.
sons and daughters of festival.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Sons
indeed.
and daughters of
Festival
festival.
offspring.
Festival offspring.
Thank you all. I want you to make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Right Here Voices of Festival every Thursday at 8 p.m. We're here. Make sure you tell a friend, make sure you tell somebody, make sure you're right here, make sure you don't miss us.
Peace
Peace.
and love.
Yeah, peace, peace, peace. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You know, that conversation, the conversation that we just had with JahMedicine and the medicine cabinet, it gives me hope. As a Brooklynite, I grew up on hip hop as a festival offspring, festival son. To hear my festival brothers and sisters represent those who came before us, those who said it, because they talked about those who came before us and making them proud of and what they taught us. They talked about invoking ancestors. They talked about following the blueprint of some of the ancestors like Shaka Zulu that came before us. You literally got a spiritual and a history lesson in that conversation. Sakina, would you agree or not?
Of course, I agree. And, it just really speaks to um, what we really are doing moving forward with the knowledge that we have, the experiences that we have. They really just embody the full essence of what a spiritual warrior does. How do you ground yourself? How do you align? And then when you do align, how do you really fulfill your purpose? And these brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters, our festival comrades, what you would say. Are you saying, yes, my god brother, that's my god sister? No, these are our comrades. Um, they are confident, they are strong, and they're clear. They're in alignment about what their power is, and they have a directive moving forward. And it doesn't matter what the status quo is around, because they are literally shifting a narrative
Yes.
and creating a new directive moving forward. And I just love this because my key term is the evolution of the revolution, and they are like the epitome of the
Yeah.
evolution for this revolution moving forward. And not so much to like the old days, where we're actually going to war. We don't we don't have to anymore. We don't have to struggle. We have the power to create. And that's what the medicine cabinet just did.
Yeah, they gave us some serious medicine tonight. They fed our spirit, they fed our soul. I mean, and that was just a conversation. So imagine when you see them live performing. Uh,
Ugh,
you hear their music. And they talk about their new album they're working on. And I want you guys we're going to stay connected to them, and we're going to travel this journey. We're going to show you as much as we can unfold as they're in the process of making this album, as they're on this journey to accomplishing their goals and to fulfilling their purpose. It's going to unfold right here.
Actually, the prelude is out, so we can drop the link in. I think it's JahMedicine at .bandcamp, or the Medicine Cabinet .bandcamp. But we will put it in the description where you can hear the prelude of his music, of the Medicine Cabinet's music right now.
Shout out to the whole crew. Shout out to Randy. Shout out to Randy. Shout out to Mr. Higgins. Shout out to Abdullah. Shout out to old Boogie. Shout out to JahMed. And shout out to Dikra. Did I say it correctly? Dikra.
And shout out to Shaka, says she didn't make it on this this interview, but Shaka says it's a major impact.
They were on their way to a performance. JahMed was already there, and they took the time to really chime in.
Yeah, they're performing with Talib tonight at the Blue Note.
You know what? We can't say no more. You know what? We're gonna close the show out. You guys, make sure you share this. You make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. We want to get these numbers up. We're on our way to 10,000. So let's make it happen quickly and easily. But we believe in you. It's like you believe in us. So thank you for joining us.
Peace.
Peace.